Hi, welcome back to another live show. I hope you're doing well. I'm drinking your tea with you guys today and talking everything regarding goals, right? How to set goals on purpose. That's the title of the show. That's the topic that I want to discuss today. So let me know as you are joining if you have set your goals for 2023 yet, or where are you with that process. Personally, I'm taking the rest of this week to do just that. I don't usually like to dedicate just one day to the process. I like to dedicate a week because as I'm marinating ideas and visions for 2023 and also planning my quarterly goals, of course, I just want to take some time to kind of, get inspired with new intentional goals, impact goals, I should say, for 2023. So there was once upon a time I used to write a lot of income goals as part of my 2023, as part of my, I guess, yearly planning. I come from a corporate background, those of you that know me already. So that's kind of how I was trained to plan, right? Income goals, which is great. But what I've really found out that it is much more fulfilling. It's much more inspiring and intentional to set impact goals. So ever since I set impact goals, so let's say that I have, an impact goal that I've set is maybe to grow my community even further, right? To grow my community, whether it's aside social media or whether it's on social media, that is an impact goal, right? How many more people can I reach in 2023 that I can impact with the work that I am doing? So that is one thing that I have learned that I wanted to share with you. And hopefully that will give you, I guess, a different perspective on setting goals. I think it's still important to set income goals because obviously we do need to understand, if we have a target, what are we shooting for? However, impact goals are much, much more impactful, I say. A process that I use that I want to share with you is to set your big yearly vision for the year, in this case, 2023. So you would set, I guess, 5 or 6 priorities for the year, which is the longer term goals that you would be striving or shooting for. And then underneath those, to come up with three, um, I guess, more achievable goals that you can focus on, or it shortens your focus within the quarters. So then underneath those bigger goals, you're coming up with three smaller priorities. And then under that, you're also coming up with 6 action steps that you could take right away. And I would plug those in the calendar right away. That's the process that I use for myself. I would plug those in the calendar right away. And of course, execute on the calendar no matter what. Because we all know once you set something on the calendar, you're probably excited and motivated now. But when the day comes that it pops into your calendar, right, or your planner, then of course, depending how you feel that day, you might, want to do it emotionally or not. So really aligning your goals with your, emotional and also your values part of yourself, I think is also really important because we make decisions obviously based on our thoughts, which create our emotions, and then of course those emotions make us take action or not. So aligning all those 3 areas, I think it's important. But I think it's also important to discipline yourself habit wise to really understand, to just go execute on those things that you have plugged into your calendar no matter what, right? And I just know that the more time you do that, the more you start to develop these disciplined healthy habits, and you learn to trust yourself, which I think is the most important part. One of the biggest challenges that I've seen, and myself I've had to overcome over the years, is time management, right? Time management and showing up for the things that we know we need to do, and we actually cleared them out on our objectives and our goals. However, for one reason or another, from the blocks that we get, when the time comes that we have to show up and execute, we don't want to do it, and we don't do it. This way, slowly teaching ourselves a very bad habit to not show up for the things that we set out to do for ourselves, right? And the more we do that, the more we keep reinforcing this bad habit, and of course, you start to lose trust in yourself, which is, I think, the worst thing that we could do. So, doing that really helps you, again, build this habit within yourself that you start to build your self respect, and you actually build a lot of certainty with yourself because you know that if it ended up on your calendar, you will get it done. So, you know exactly that you can rely on you to show up for you, to do the things that you need to do, to move the things forward that you need to move based on your clarification. I think it's also important to set to plan quarterly. So even though in January I usually plan for my year and also my quarter, which is January to March, right? And then I'll plan for the next quarter after that. I think it's important to check in with yourself every quarter because in the day to day, even though we might be planning things that we want to do, it's also important to adapt, right? There's also through the taking of the action, we get a lot more clarity. And maybe something that we thought was priority month one turns out not to be such a priority moving forward. So we might need to switch our focus with something else is going to give us that we're going to receive it as clarity through taking action that might make more sense, that might be moving our things forward, right? So I think adaptability with our calendar is also really important. I don't think that we need to be so strict to the calendar. Well, I should say to our goals, because to the calendar, I believe we have to follow that. And if you feel obviously something is no longer relevant or priority, then it can always be removed, right? You make your own calendar. And that's really, that's where the adaptability comes in, especially as an entrepreneur. We all know that there's nothing like writing down your goals and your reflections for the month. I think something else that's really important that I've learned to do is reflect back on the lessons learned and also on the major awareness that we receive as we take action. However, if we don't document that somewhere, we tend to forget about it, right? And I think it's important to have in our planner a section or wherever you write down your goals or how you do your planning for reflections, because I think reflections are really, really important so that we don't continue to make the same mistakes and we just bring out the lessons from our journey. So I think that's important as well to add, in addition to clarifying what our impact and our income goals are for the following year or for the year that we are currently in. Having seen this, I created a planner, which is available on Amazon. It's called Focus on Purpose, because I also realized that, and focus is crucial in business, right? I realized that for me, I realized that for all the entrepreneurs I've helped and all the corporations that are lacking that sometimes. When you move too fast, when you grow too fast, it's very easy to lose focus on your priorities, and it's also very easy to get distracted. So making sure that you're staying focused and on purpose, I think it's a really important skill in business. We will always see that time management, obviously, it's one of those, challenging topics for most people, right? Because as soon as we think we have something planned out and we're doing all right, life just throws us lemons and we have to learn how to make lemonade. But I say that, back to adaptability, it's important to stay, to go with the flow and adapt to what's happening with life. But of course, I also think it's important to stay very focused and not let your sight out of the goals that you have set for yourself. because unless you stay so loyal to them, it's very easy to just get distracted. Um, Keeping your goals or planner where you could see it, I think it's also an important programming and wiring your subconsciousness exercise. Everybody talks about vision boards, right? So putting them where you could see them just does the wiring for you, which works with the manifesting of them, right? So I think that's really important as well to keep them not out of sight but in sight, because out of sight, out of mind, out of mind. So keeping them inside is really important as well. So in the journal, or the planner, I should say, I do have a journal. So, but this is a planner that just launched on Amazon, and I just structure the process, I guess, inside the planner so that it guides you through the process of effective planning, productivity, staying focused, doing your reflections on lessons learned, but also working with a mindset, right? What are those intentional thoughts that you need to think that come from the future version of yourself that is going to achieve the goals that you have set on your planner, right? So that's just parts of the planner that are very structured, just based, from my process and experience that I have seen are some of the most intentional and the most purposeful actions that you could take. Um, I always say that multitasking is a myth. Um, I have, I've made a mistake in trying to be productive, trying to work on 20 million things at once, but that definitely distracts you from your focus. And every time you have to redirect your attention, you're losing productivity and energy. So, weaning yourself off of multitasking, I think it's a really important habit that you can also start implementing. And that's why I love the word purpose, because when you know what priorities you're working on, even if you haven't achieved the 10 things on your success list, I like to call lists success lists, all the 10 things on your success list. Um, if you've achieved or if you've completed 1 to 2 of the main priorities for the day, it is still a big win, right? Because all of that is going to end up co-creating and is going to end up helping you in the longer term vision for the year and moving forward. So even though in the detail, I guess the shorter term view of the day to day, you might feel not good about accomplishing all the 10 things on your list. Um, when you look at the longer term, those priorities are the things that are moving the needle forward even further. So those are the things that you want to keep your eye on. So really, just working with some of these things I've learned is very helpful in productivity, efficiency. I'm very interested in efficiency because I'm a process-oriented person, and I understand that in the process is where the results are created. And when you look at the process and when you could see how you can do something faster, oops, or delegate something out, or intentionally set a next step for the next time, and paying attention to the process of how you could shorten it is, at least buys me back a lot of freedom, right? Because then you're just not working busy, but you're working on priority, and you can take your, I don't know, time for self-care, time for family, time for other priorities in your life, and you don't feel guilty about it then, because you know that the things that you're moving forward are very, very important, and you have disciplined yourself enough to actually accomplish those. So, all right, guys, Smokey, Brian, welcome, 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 everybody. Thanks so much for being here. And those of you that are going to watch this on replay as well, definitely let me know if you have started to set your 2023 goals and how is that process going. And for the planner, Focus on Purpose Planner is available on Amazon. I will include a link with this video. But guys, if you want to check any of my products, I have about 3 books that I've written. I have a journal. I have a planner recently that I launched because I love this process so much. They're all available on Amazon. So all you have to do is just search for my name, Ilona Lepar, on Amazon, and you'll see all my products there. So this might be a good time to go check out other things that you think might be helpful in setting those intentions or getting information and education on the topics that I've written about in my other books as well. So thanks so much for those of you that have joined here today live for now, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your New Year's week. Bye, everybody.